Hi everyone, Mikey79 here and welcome to this new video. Today I'm gonna talk to you guys about this vampire deck. It's got the madness theme going on too. And well, it's a deck that you see pop up here and there. Other YouTubers already covered it, so I guess in deck building wise, it's not that big different than the usual decks that you see like this. Because with these colors, black and red, there is not much variety. You see builds like this, with some exceptions of course. So let's start with the first card, Insolent Neonate. It's a vampire for 1 red mana, and he's got menace going on, which is already a neat ability for a 1-drop, because it will be a while before the opponent can block him. And then he's got another neat ability. You can discard a card and sacrifice him to draw another card. Now the discard is of course to trigger your madness abilities, which we have enough of, as you will see. Then the Asylum Visitor, 2 mana, 1 black, and at the beginning of each player's upkeep, if that player has no card in hands, you draw a card and you lose 1 life. Now that's already pretty neat, and he also has madness going on, but it's for the same cost as his normal ability. But yeah, some abilities you trigger with discarding a card, so yeah, and you don't mind discarding these of course. Now his other ability, to draw a card, it's very exceptional to have that ability going on. Usually the game is already over because it's a pretty fast deck. Before you run out of cards, usually it will be over. And in the long run, yeah, I never had this ability going on, so yeah. But it's a 3/1 for 2 mana, which is pretty great. Then the Heir of Falconrod for 2 mana, 1 black. You get a 2/1 vampire that can transform, and you transform her by discarding a card, which is obviously pretty neat for our madness abilities. And then when she transforms into a 3/2 flyer, which is pretty damn good for 2 mana. Then Olivia's Bloodsworn for 2 mana. We get a flying 2/1, and he can block, but we're not gonna block much anyway. And if we pay an extra red mana, a vampire of our choice, so also this one included, can gain haste, which is a pretty strong ability. Now, as far as you notice, every toughness, it's also the weakness of vampires, or at least it is in my opinion. They only have 1 toughness. Usually they have a bigger power but a lower toughness. So yeah, the 1 toughness is disastrous when you're playing an opponent that plays Twin Bolt, because for 1 card he shoots off 2 of yours, so that's the downside. And because of this, I think Twin Bolt is actually has become even better than it already was. Then the Ravenous Bloodseeker, that's a key card in this deck because he lets you discard a card. He's got a pretty good body, he's got a 1/3, with this one it's the other way around. Although you can switch it around by discarding a card and then he gets +1 -2. So pretty damn good, pretty aggressive, and he's actually one of the key cards that let you use your madness abilities. Then a card with madness, 2 copies of Avacyn's Judgment. Actually it's a Twin Bolt on sorcery speed if you play it normal, but if you play it for its madness cost, the 1 generic mana becomes an X, and you can pay as much mana if you want. Now this deck isn't ramping or anything, so usually you won't play it for that much, but sometimes you can play it for 3 or for 4, which is pretty damn good. So yeah, pretty strong, good card. Then the Blood Mad Vampire, I really like this card. You pay 3 mana, 1 red and you get a 4/1, which is pretty good. And whenever he deals combat damage to a player, you can put a +1/+1 counter on it. Now that's even better. So he's only getting stronger. And when you play him for his madness cost, you only pay 2 mana, which is even better. Then another card, Olivia Mobilized for War, that lets you discard a card. You pay 3 mana, 1 black and 1 red, and you get a 3/3 flyer, which is pretty okay, but it's actually the ability why you will be playing this. She has flying, and whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, you may discard a card. So it's a madness engine, actually, this one. And if you do put a +1/+1 counter on that creature, it gains haste until end of turn and becomes a vampire in addition to its other types. Now the last thing, we're only playing vampires, so that doesn't matter, but putting a +1/+1 on a creature, gaining haste, and then doing some madness ability is pretty damn much in one move, actually. So it's a very strong card. I've had some bad luck not drawing much into this card when I tested the deck, but I think I can tell you that I only played her once, and it was pretty nuts. She's game winning, obviously. Then also game winning, and a very important card in this deck is this one, is the Estancia Masquerade. You pay 3 mana, 1 red for an enchantment, and your creatures that are attacking get first strike. Now that's pretty damn important because, like I said, all your vampires have a low toughness, and this one lets you play around that because they get first strike. Yeah, their power level are usually high, so there are not many creatures that can block your creatures to death when this is going on. And yeah, even with counters being added to your creatures, it's getting nuts even more. So speaking of counters, whenever a vampire you control deals combat damage to a player, put a +1/+1 counter on it. So he's actually making all your vampires work like this one. And even better, because it's not finished yet, he also has the madness going on. Now you see the madness cost is the same as a normal cost, but it's a combat trick. When you're attacking and your opponent blocks, you can give them all first strike at flash speed when you play it for the madness cost, of course. So pretty damn strong card, and what's even better is that it's an uncommon, so you can play 3 copies of it. So the chance that this card pops up is a little bit bigger. Pretty awesome card. And if you want to play vampires, this is a must. You can't play vampires without this card. It is too important. Then a burn card that uses the madness. Now 3 damage to a player or a creature for 3 mana with already 2 red is, in the best case, it's okay. But if you can play it for its madness ability, then you only pay 1, and then yeah, you have a lightning bolt. You pay 1 for 3 damage. It doesn't get any better than that. So then this one I haven't seen it get much play. I do like it though, because sometimes it's a rush. You see a lot of aggro decks, humans, other vampires, werewolves, you name it. Yeah, or sometimes you can't come through. And with this card, I like to do some damage direct to the player, and the madness ability lets you only pay 1 for it. So it's a neat finisher, and you gain some life with it. So you can recover a bit yourself, and you can keep attacking while doing extra damage. So I actually like this card. I only played 2 copies because yeah, it wasn't easy to find a spot for it, but it's proven to work well. Then a creature that doesn't have anything to do with discard or madness is this one, the Voldaren Duelist. You pay 4 mana with 1 red, but you do get a 3/2 haste. And even better, when he enters the battlefield, target creature can block this turn. Now I think that's an ability in many aggro decks is very valuable. I mean, if you have a few vampires on the board and you can keep the board a bit clean on the other side, empty on the other side, and he has only 1 creature, yeah, all your vampires come through for that turn, so pretty damn strong in my opinion. I played 3 copies because it's already 4 mana. The 4th copy is a bit more difficult. Now this one is also haste. I think haste is an important mechanic too in this deck with vampires. The faster the better. And Incorrigible Youths. You pay 5 mana, but you're not supposed to pay that, of course. And you get a 4/3 haste, which is pretty damn good. But it's even better when you play it for its madness. And then you only pay 3 mana, which is pretty awesome. Then I play 7 swamps, 12 mountains, 2 smoldering marshes, and 2 dragon skull summits. Now you don't see any evolving wilds, you don't see anything special around here. That's something that I maybe can still change. Maybe I can play a looming spires or an evolving wilds or whatever. But for now I prefer to hit my land traps. I don't need that much mana, but I do need at least 4 or 5 to get the deck working really well, and I don't want to miss any land traps. And also, if I draw a card and I don't have a madness card and I have to discard something, I can discard an extra land, so it's not a big thing actually. Yeah, and that's actually it for this deck tech video, guys. I can't imagine that you haven't played against vampires yet. They're pretty popular, although I see them pop up once in a while. I like to play with it. I think they made them pretty strong, and top tier is maybe exaggerating, but you do get good results with this. That's for sure. So if you didn't have all the cards unlocked yet, I would go for Shadows of Innistrad, and if you can unlock this set, you have a lot of vampires to work with, and it works pretty great and it goes pretty fast. So that's it for today, guys. I hope you loved this deck tech video. Feel free to subscribe and like, and hopefully I see you guys at the gameplay video. See you then. Bye bye, guys. Have a nice day.